Khan, Shalom, Shalom. Ashar Shabbat, which means happy Sabbath. All right, man, we're finna go ahead and get started. What time is it? It's 10:10.
Khan, Ashar Shabbat, Shalom, Yasharala in the building. Peace and blessings to everybody that tuned in. We appreciate the support. And we're about to go into this lesson through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Mashak Yahweh Shai. We got Officer Mahar in the building. We got Captain Gabar in the building. We got General Hezekiah in the building. If y'all can, when y'all come in, hit the like button. All right, support your nation. Hit the like button. That's all we ask. And stay tuned to the information that's going to come forth. Lord willing, somebody's edified.
So today we're gonna be going over some Northern Kingdom history. So Shalom, Jacob Huntley, Shalom. Lucky, my eyes is bad. What is that? Seapool. Shalom. So today we're going over some history about what happened to our brothers and sisters of the Northern Kingdom. Basically, when they was here in the Americas, Captain DeBar gonna be bringing out a lot of history in these different books, these different sources, and we'll be aligning it up with the Bible as much as it's fit. So it's gonna be a good class. It's gonna be pretty laid back. I know y'all probably got information about supporting the Northern Kingdom and what happened to them before, or just in general, what happened to them, man. So it's gonna be a good lesson. We're gonna try and pull a lot of resources out. So I'm gonna go ahead and hope you ready, King?
God.
So first and foremost, all praises, all honor, and all glory go to the Most High God, Yahweh, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Man, every time I say those words, I have to smile a little bit because it'll be hidden, man. So everyone should be aware of what happened to our kingdom after Solomon died. If you're not, I'll give a quick overview or synopsis. So at one point, the children of Israel was all underneath one banner. All the tribes of Jacob, all of the sons of Jacob was under one banner and under one king. They was all under King Saul. Eventually, everyone was under King David. Everyone was under King Solomon. But 1 Kings chapter 11, it kind of tells you how the kingdom begins to get divided into two. You got the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The southern kingdom being Benjamin, Judah, Levi. The northern kingdom being the rest of the tribe. So we're gonna be touching on what happened to them people, some of the atrocities, the things that they went through, how it aligns with what the Bible says, and how it aligns with us, being called African Americans and Negroes here in America. You'll see that we went through the same things as the Northern Kingdom, just to add more substance to them being our brothers and sisters. So you got to know, man, we was all in Egypt in captivity. Moses got us out of captivity. We end up wanting a king over us. Like I said, you got Saul, King David, King Solomon. Over time, those things happen, but the kingdom split. You had Jeroboam or Rehoboam. Everyone should be kind of familiar with these names. And the kingdom being divided, split into two. People being cast off, people being cut off, from the commonwealth, from the promises, from the land. And you can read about this in like 2 Kings. I want to say like the 17th chapter, where it tells you that the northern kingdom was led away into Assyria, namely Nineveh, which is the capital of Assyria, by Shalmaneser. And it tells you about that in Kings. It tells you about it in the second Esdras. You know, it talks about it in Tobit. It talks about it a lot, right? So, you got anything, King? Captain DeBar? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't have nothing just this moment. We're gonna get some opening scriptures. If not, I can get one.
I'm gonna grab one. I'm gonna grab Tobit 1:1 because I like that one. So bear with me 1 second. Tobit chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, "The book of the words of Tobit, son of Tobiel, the son of Aniel, the son of Aduel, the son of Gabael, of the seed of Asahel, of the tribe of Naphtali." So Tobit was from the tribe of Naphtali. That's the northern kingdom. It says, "Who in the time of Ebenezer, king of the Assyrians," and Ebenezer is Shalmaneser, right? And that goes back to 2 Kings chapter 17. It says, "Who in the time of Ebenezer, king of the Assyrians, was led captive out of Thisbe, which is at the right hand of that city, which is called properly Naphtali and Galilee above Asher." It says, "I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the way of truth and justice, and I did many alms deeds to my brethren and my nation who came with me to Nineveh into the land of Assyrians." So the book of Tobit, it opens up giving you a genealogy of who he was, who his forefathers was, what tribe he come from. It tells you the king who was reigning in the time of when they got carried away out of Naphtali and got carried to Nineveh, which is in Assyria. So this is all in the first couple verses of Tobit. So when you read these books, it's really important to really get a better understanding of the time frame that certain prophets or books of the Bible are in, you know. So that's a good precept showing you that the northern kingdom was in Nineveh. It was in Syria under King Shalmaneser. You got something?
Yeah, and dealing with that, we know the prophecy in Genesis 49. We know this was supposed to happen, and this is what makes the Bible true, man. Because we see these things happening like that, like the truth shall overcome Gad, and him being prophesied and come into a place like Arthur, America. If you look at the word Arthur, it's America in the Bible, in the Apocrypha. So I do want to get that right quick, but I want to get this Jeremiah. We all know the prophecy, which is 49, where it says, "Gad, a troop shall overcome him." And when you go into troop, it goes into army. That's simple. But this is Jeremiah 3:6. It says, "And the Lord said unto me in the days of Uzziah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel have done?" It says, "She is gone up upon every mountain and every green tree, and there have played the harlot. I said, she had done all these things, turned thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it." So this is talking about the northern kingdom, says Israel, right? Judah and Israel, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. So this is the Most High speaking about the northern kingdom. Right? This is the beginning of the departure. The prophecy of the departure. It says, "And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding committed adultery, I had put her away." And this is the Most High sending her either in captivity or sending her to the Americas, right? It says, "I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce, yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, and went and played the harlot also. And it came to pass through the likeness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with rocks." And when we go into these books, we see that they was doing the same thing. It says, I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up?
No, I hear you good.
I don't think they can, no, man. Hold on.
Oh, I heard say that.
Let me leave and come back right.
All right, Con. Wait, so kind of what he was going into.
Go ahead, King.
Already? Oh, that's you, Con. Basically, the Northern Kingdom, well, really, the whole nation of Israel. A lot of times, what we really got in trouble for most of the time was idolatry. You know,
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Con. So, hey, let me know if I'm breaking up though. But the whoredom, the adultery, the idolatry that the Northern Kingdom went in was greater than Judah. That's why the Most High always allowed Judah to go back to their homeland. But there's a prophecy in Second Esdras. You know, let me get this right quick. In Second Esdras, where they were supposed to, it was prophecy for them to come over to this land, and they were supposed to come over here and follow the law, statutes, and commandments. The Most High gave them pass. He helped them get over here so that they can follow the laws. But when we go into the conquistadors, the heathen, they was what they was seeing. They was calling barbarians. Like they lived like barbarians, man. They was doing human sacrifice. They was drinking blood. You know, if you seen the movie Apocalypto, they give you a good insight on what they was over here doing, man. They was hating. They was going against each other. The native tribes, they was going against each other also, right? They would sometimes help the heathen overcome one of the tribes. But this is Second Esdras 13 and 40.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, kind of.
Second Esdras chapter 13, verse 40 says, "Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king." Real quick, can I grab a precept?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Con.
Hey, so this goes perfectly for what the brother was just bringing out. The scripture, quote that scripture again?
Tobit chapter 1.
Yeah, Tobit 1. The same captivity, man, in Nineveh.
Nah, I'm gonna throw this precept on it. Second Kings chapter 18. And I'm gonna just read verse 9. It's a lot of meat. It's a lot of meat in here, but I'm just gonna grab verse 9. 2 Kings 18 and 9 says, "And it came to pass in the 4th year of Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel." So at this time, you had 2 kings reigning on the throne, one king over the northern kingdom and another king over the southern kingdom. It says, so Hezekiah was over the southern kingdom, and Hosea was the king over the northern kingdom. It says that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. Now we see this in 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 9. It talks about Hosea, Hezekiah, and the Assyrian king Shalmaneser and how he besieged it. Now, when we go back to 2nd Esdras, remember the same names. Now, I'm going to start 2nd Esdras 13 and 14. 13 and 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters so that they came into another land.
Right. So, hey, look, it says, led them away captives, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. Right. So this is the captivity of the northern kingdom going into the Assyrian captivity. After the Assyrian captivity, you don't see no records, no history of them going to any other captivity that was over there in what they call the Middle East. So this prophecy, we have to ask ourselves, where did these tribes go then? Because some people try to think that this ain't talking about them coming over here to America. Well, where did they go then? You have to answer that question, right? But let's keep going. Yeah, let's keep going.
Verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Never mankind dwelt. And that's the same thing that Christopher Columbus, Hernan Cortez, Francisco Garcia, I believe the last name is, might be slaughtering it. When they came over here, they didn't They thought the same thing, that this was a place where never no mankind dwelt. That's why they called it the New World.
Mm-hmm.
But you can continue to.
Hey, even everyone should know this. America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, and he was an Italian voyager. You know, he was he thought, you know, he didn't really know what was going on over there either. They just knew this part of the world. A lot of people was under the impression that men and people wasn't here. You know, it wasn't populated like the other parts of the earth. I'm gonna keep going. 42. It says that they might dare keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Hey, so there you go. That is a key point right there, where it says that they might keep their statutes, their law, statutes, commandments, which they never kept in a land. So the Lord, if you the Lord help them here, and what did they do? They did not do it, man. Now, did they keep certain ceremonies and things? Yes, because even the scripture, Paul talks about the Gentiles following the law without knowledge of the law, because it's spiritually in us. We made a covenant with the Most High, so He put that on our spirits, being the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. That's why we do similar stuff. You know, it comes from the Most High. That's how we know we're the same people. But this is I want to bring out some history on three different books. I got the devastation of the native Indies. I have Babylon the Timbuktu. I have conquistadors and Pueblos, and then I have this conquistadors. The last days of the Sioux tribe, right? And these books have the history that we can link up to these scriptures, man. And this is one of them. This is devastation of the Indies, and it is page 16. It says the European confrontation with the Aztecs, it says, did the most to fuel arguments that American Indians are essentially barbarians. That's why they didn't show them no love, because they thought that they was bringing them a new faith. And that new faith, they didn't have no answers for the new faith at the end of the day. But you know, they looking at them as barbarians, so they treated them as they thought they was treating them as such. But they don't know that they was fulfilling prophecy. But it says, the Aztecs' practice of human sacrifice genuinely horrified the church and led some to believe they lived in the Indies so evil. So this was their mindset. They thought that they knew God and no one else knew God. You know, coming from the Middle East, you know, they knew who the real Christians was over here, but when they came over here, they called themselves the Christians and tried to push their own way of Christianity on us. That's why you have the Christianity. Right? But this doctrine, man, this was forced on us, man. Christianity was forced on our northern kingdom brother, and we got all the history to prove it. It was nothing that we jointly wanted to beat them, man. Right? You got something else? If not, I'm gonna bring this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab this precept in Maccabees, if you don't mind.
All right.
That's your 5 precept. I got a different Bible on me, so it's hard to find these scriptures that I don't remember. I think it's 1 and 41. First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So this is actually this is actually talking about the Jews that was in Israel, you know, the southern kingdom. But I'm pulling this out to show you that this happened to the southern kingdom and it happened to the northern kingdom, because we go through the same things, whether you want to believe it or not. So what happened was you had Antiochus telling you everyone that's in his province, in his land, or in the places where he conquered, he said everyone had to leave their laws and they had to consent or agree to do the things that he was setting up. So I tell you, all the heathens, they agreed to do what King Antiochus said. Then because you know he conquered more than just the Israelites. Antiochus, he was a Greek. You know, it is what it is. He an Edomite. So basically, he didn't just conquer the Israelites; he conquered other people. You know, all of Mesopotamia. He was even down in Egypt. You know, he was everywhere. But anyways, after
Hey, Salakia.
go ahead.
And another thing too is these are the same people that ruled us in the Southern Kingdom in the land is the same people that came over here to the Americas to rule our native brothers, man. The same people. That's why they do that. They caused us to stop following our laws, and they came over here and they did the same thing with us. But that's all. Go ahead.
Hey man, we gotta touch on that. There's so many things I heard like while I was in school, and it never really clicked. It never really applied to me, and I didn't have no reason to actually, you know, really take in that knowledge that they was giving out because it don't really apply to my people. But when I'm getting deeper into the truth, I see how important history class was, even if it was a lot of lies in there, because it would help me be stronger and mightier in this truth. But anyways, the point is, our people. I'm gonna read the verse again because the Bible is more powerful to me. It says, verse 42, First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 42. It says, "And everyone shall leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath." So our people actually left the law, statutes, and commandments of God, and they went and served Antiochus God, served idols, profaned the Sabbath, stopped circumcising their kids, said the dietary law, we're not gonna do that no more. We're just gonna do what King Antiochus said, you know. So that was a big thing for the Northern Kingdom, you know, and they took it a step further. It was a lot of idolatry, a lot of element worship, like water, fire, the sun, the stars. And one thing about our Northern Kingdom brothers, they real good when it comes to telling time, when it comes to the stars, when it comes to calendars, like the calendar that these Edomites got. They got a lot of it from our Northern Kingdom brothers, man. They was really good, especially when it came to the lunar calendar, man. But the point is, they went into idolatry, they went into cannibalism, they went into all kind of crazy stuff, man. We're gonna touch on it, but that's what I got, King.
Hey, and that's very true, man. Cannibalism, and we know that's against the Torah. So that's why, if you ever wonder why, you know, some people don't have an answer on why the natives got done so bad, or why the Southern Kingdom. Well, it's because we went to idolatry, and you don't have a choice to follow the laws. It's either you follow them or be horribly punished. Hey, and look at the horrible punishment that they did to the natives. Hey, we know the Southern Kingdom, but let's look at the horrible punishment that the Most High brought forth on the natives, man. You're talking about they having a land inhabited of 3 million, and they will that number to like 60 people, and it was just like it was nothing. It was nothing to the conquistadors, man, to do this. But do you want to touch on that now with the sacrificing and sacrificing?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, Con. So let's go to Leviticus 17 and 12. The nation of Israel, he gave statutes and commandments. Matter of fact, can you get Sirach 24 and 23 first, and then we'll get it. Then we'll get that go to the law. All right, we know our people is not supposed to be doing sacrifices, man. Human sacrifice. We're not supposed to be sacrificing blood, drinking blood. You know, we can't be doing that. That's against the Torah, and that's what pissed the Most High off. Because we just read in 2 Ezra 13 where it says, verse 42, I believe it was, it says that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. Right? Whenever you got that.
You said 24, 23?
Yeah.
Come. This is Sirach chapter 24, verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob.
Right. So, hey, and guess what we said when that blood got sprinkled on? We said, "Hey, man, agree to the covenant, the contract, and when you break it, the man already told us through the curses what he was going to do to us, you know." And that's it. And that's why I get the lesson linking these books up with the curses, how accurate it is, man. They are definitely Israelites, man, and they definitely got to repent and come back to the Most High also, man. For anybody that's saying they ain't Israelite, man, all you got to do is tell them to prove it, man. Got the proof right here. We bring it out since proving that they Israel. The opposite, they would have to say prove otherwise. Let's get Leviticus 6 and 40 now. I gotta come back to the Most High, hey, in the same manner as we do, man. Ain't nothing different. You know, the Most High deals with varieties. You know, the Negroes, they got their hair woolly, you know, woolly and that what they call nappy today. You know, froze. The natives, they got long, you know, long hair. The Most High deals with varieties, man. 26 and 40.
This is Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers, which with their trespass which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity,
Hey, you
then
see that? So that's the point. Us accepting the punishment of our captivity, man. What the Most High is supposed to accept that punishment, and accepting that punishment is coming back to him, because you got a lot of people. You know, we bring out all of these, you know, these horrific facts, and people it's turn off of people. You know, some people hear these Bible and they don't understand why we bring it out, because this is what God said He would do if we was obedient. This is the point. This is what happens when we disobedient. So we gotta keep bringing this kind of stuff out. But keep going though. Did you read 41 too?
I read 41. I'm on 42.
Okay, yeah, 42.
It says, "Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I remember the land."
Hey, but our native brothers, when they got here, they did not do that, man. Hey, still to this day, most of them don't want to listen, man. Hey, there's a punishment for that. We know a lot of the elect is going to get sealed. The 12,000 out of each tribe is get sealed. The great multitude of the elect is going to get sealed. Hey, but majority of our people, hey, they've been brainwashed, man, through boarding school. So I want to get this right quick. Hey, just to prove that, you know, Christianity was forced on the natives. So this is the devastation of the native Indies. This is page 49. It says they have dissimulated the fact that only with blood and fire have the Indians been brought to embrace the faith, to swear obedience to the king of Castile, or by threats of being slain or taken into captivity. Come on, man. This is the only way that they could get our people to embrace Christianity. And over the generations, our people embrace it willingly, man. That's called Stockholm Syndrome. That's why we always go into that word, because we want you to look that word up, man, and see how it applies. See who it applies to. Who is the only been done as worse as we are, to come up with a definition to call it Stockholm Syndrome. And that applies to us. But it says, I'm going to drop down a little bit. It says, yet they are told they must embrace the Christian faith immediately. So this is what they would do. They would go from tribe to tribe around the Americas, and they would force them to obey the Christian faith. And it tells you, even in this very same, the conquistadors didn't even know what Christian faith was. They had no idea what it was. Let me get that right quick. Right, this is page 21, the same book, Devastation of the Native Indies. It says, hence conquistadors ignored priests, disregarded royal orders, and lions and tigers, hungry for a time, devoured the lamb like Indians. It says the suggestion never arise, for example, that Indians just be left alone. Why? Because they had the spirit of the Most High. It tells you that in Isaiah 51 and 20. How the you can look at the nation of Israel and see how bad the Most High. Look at the condition of our people, and you can see how angry the Most was. It says they were to use his phrase, good enough to be Christians and to be integrated into Christian society. So it ain't like our forefathers know, but like I said, generation and generation away from the Bible, away from our customs, our people start to lose it. So the conquistadors coming over here, coming with the culture that we already had, but putting their own label on it, of Christians, who's the only ones Christians. They brought it over here, and this is what they, this is the only thing the natives knew, because through the many generations that they've been over here, man, being away from their heritage. But it says, yet what did it mean to be a Christian? This is what it says in this book. It says, yet what did it mean to be a Christian? It says, La Casas implied that that was unclear to the Spaniards living in the Americas, but it was clear to him. And we all know what that Christianity was, right? It was complete slavery, man. Them getting the wealth, the wealth and riches off of the backs of the natives and the Negroes. That was Christianity. That's Christianity now, man. Because any Christian in Christianity, I mean, that's not say any, I say most of them, the majority of them, they want to leave this place, right? Because they don't do nothing but help Esau idea grow and grow and grow, man. I know you heard we are the consumers of the earth. This is how they conditioned us. But I want to keep going though. Is that
Con, go ahead, Con.
God.
I lost my page. Let me go back 21. Hey man, these books is crazy, man. You could get to really getting in these books and diving in these books. These books let us know everything we need to know, man. Everything. Right? They got that phrase, what is it? You want to keep something from a Negro, put in a book. It goes for the natives also. We don't not. And if you really things read to us, man, like by the Levites, they would read it to us, It's breaking up. They said I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up? In the comment section, am I breaking up?
You sound good on my end.
Yeah, you sound good on my end too. If y'all can hear clear, press 1 in the comment section so we can know the audio is clear.
All right, so I'm gonna continue until somebody say something. So going back to page 49, it says, yet they are told they must embrace the Christian faith immediately.
They said you breaking up, so like you.
I'm gonna leave and come back.
Con. All right, so we're gonna wait till you get back in here, Salaki, y'all. He'll be right back in here. Let me ask this: am I breaking up, or is me and Mahar breaking up when we talk, or is it just the bars in?
Yeah.
Okay. If y'all can hear Officer Salaki, Captain DeBar, press 1 in the comment section.
Yeah, they saying it's just Captain DeMar.
Let me see. It might be my connection. All right, so I'll continue this until somebody says something. It says, yet they are told they must embrace the Christian faith immediately without hearing any sermon preached and without any indoctrination. So Khan, dealing with this, it says that not only that, the Christians didn't know what the actual Christianity was, what the faith was. It says that without hearing any sermon preached to them or without indoctrination, they are told to subject themselves to a king they have never heard or nor seen, and are told this by the king's messengers, who are such despicable and cruel tyrants that deprive them of their liberty. This don't sound like nothing biblical, man. It says their possession, their wives and children. This is not only absurd, but worthy of scorn. Right? All right, go ahead. Go ahead. You got something?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They saying it's just your audio. I'm not sure. But I could bring a couple things out and see if you can fix it. You know.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Give me 1 second. Here we go. All right. So you know, I'm gonna let the bar touch on that. I'm gonna touch on something else. Okay. So a lot of people. So just to give our stance on, can y'all hear me good? And my audio good, right? All right, 1 second, y'all. Bear with me. Let me bring this up really quick. Okay, we're gonna do this really quick. All right, we're gonna go right here. All right, so 1 second. What's going on here? So, okay, hold on. You're right. Bear with me. All right, I'm gonna just bring this out really quick because I don't know what's going on with my information that I'm trying to bring out. It's weird. All right, so look. All right, so just to give our stance on what we believe in, right? Over at Sons of Jacob, we believe that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the biblical bloodline children of Israel. Okay, the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native Americans, which are scattered abroad. Okay. Now I'm gonna bring out some information. I really don't want to bring this out first. What y'all bear with me really quick. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this really quick. 'Cause I don't understand why it just disappeared like that. Bear with me, Israel. Salakia. Pull this back up really quick. Really quick. All right, here we go. Oh, that's not it either. Salakia. All right, here we go. All right, so a lot of people, when we bring forth this information, they believe maybe Negro onlys, or they believe that it's only the so-called Afro Indians and the Afro Mexicans. Well, we're going to bring forth information, history, and facts about the truth. All right. So it says, I'm gonna read this. This is something that I posted maybe 5, 6 years ago. Let me see how many years ago. 4 years ago. It says, to everyone who said camps made up that the natives are Israel is a lie, and y'all need to repent. And it says, read. One of the first books to suggest Native Americans lost tribe theory. So that's something that everybody can go look into. It's called the Native American Lost Tribes Theory. Was written by a Jewish Dutch rabbi, scholar, and diplomat, Manasseh ben Israel. In the Hope of Israel, this is a book that was written. It says, in the Hope of Israel, in 1650, Ben Israel suggested that the discovery of the Native Americans A surviving remnant of the Assyrian exile was a sign um, heralding, heralding the Masonic era. Just 1 year later, Thomas Thorogood published the bestseller Jews in America are Possibilities That Those Indians Are Judaical, made more possibilities by the additional to the formal conjectures. The lost tribes idea found favor among early nobles, including Cotton Mather, the influential English minister, Elias Bogut, the New Jersey lawyer who was one of the leaders of the American Revolution, and the Quaker leader William Penn. So back in 1650, okay, before we start calling ourselves Israelites, back in 1969, all right, and we can go back to the 1800s with Cherry, right, and it says here in the Hope of Israel, 1650, that they were saying that the Native Americans were the lost tribes of Israel. Okay, so I'm going to read something out of this article that they posted. All right, it says right here. It says the notion was revived after James Adair, a 40-year veteran Indian trader and meticulous chronicler of the of the Israelites features of the Native American region and social customs, wrote the history of American Indians, containing a account of their origin, language, manners, religion, and civil customs in 1775. So James Adair was someone that actually was dealing with the Native Americans, and he started to realize that these people have relations to the lost tribes of Israel. He said, on account of their origin, their language, their manners, their religions, and the civil customs. And this was in 1775. All right. So let's go down really quick. It says some of these writers were interested in the Native American history, but most of them were just interested in the Bible. Indeed, the lost tribes claim should be seen a part of the general 19th century fascination with the biblical history. Explorations of Holy Land flora and fauna, the geographical land, so like the geographical of the Holy Land, the life of Jesus, the man. So they're saying that these people, their history that they were observing was the same thing that they saw in the Bible that was going back to the Holy Land that they reserved, what they observed out of the Bible. All right. So I'm gonna show y'all some of these things really quick. Look at this. All right. So here they this is the book called the views of Hebrews, right? It says they spent much time to select it. 1 second. It says they spent much time to investigate their religions, its origins, and what it taught, and what it would avail. They found themselves involved in darkness of the meaning of the word that they used in dancing and divine songs. They were wholly ignorant. They used the word Yahweh, right, and hallelujah as the doctor Benoit has represented of the other Indians. They became dissatisfied with their old rituals and consented that they would take the book which the white man called Salakia, which the white man called of God to throw light on their path. Look what it says. It says, in all the rites which I have learned from them, they there is certainly a most striking similitude of the Mosaic ritual. Their feast of first fruits, feast of ingathering, day of atonement, peace offering, sacrifice. They build an altar of stone before a tent covered with blankets. Within the tent, they burn tobacco with incense, with fire taken from the altar of burnt offerings. All who have seen a dead human being are considered unclean 8 days, which the time they are excluded from the congregation. These Senecas observe the separation of females. You, Salakia, you noticed of other Indians in your book. So they saying that these people, their rituals was going straight back to the Bible and the ways that they observed the Feast of First Fruits, the Feast of Ingathering, the Day of Atonement, peace offerings, sacrifices, building the altar with stone, um, the incense. It says they seen a body. They considered themselves unclean for 8 days, and they were excluded from the congregation. The separation from women. All right. So if anybody are trying to say that the Native Americans are not Israelites, this information is out there, and all you have to do is do some research, and you'll see a long time before the so-called long time before the Negroes, right, were called themselves Israelites. You had people observing the Native Americans saying that this was the lost tribe of Israel, the exile from the Assyrian captivity. All right, and I pass the mic back to my.
Go ahead, Mar. Hey, so matter of fact, can I bring this out right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this is a precept for what the brother was just bringing out. This is Romans chapter 2 and 14. And this goes perfectly with what he just brought out. It says, for when the Gentiles which have not the law, so they didn't have a law when they came over to the Americas. It says, do by nature the things contained in the law. Why? Because we made that covenant with the Most High. He sprinkled that blood on our forefathers, and we all said amen. It's deeper than what you wanted, what people believe, man. It's way deeper. That's why I be on your conscience when you do something wrong as an Israelite. That's why we don't do a lot of stuff that the Edomites do, because it weighs in on our conscience. We know that there's a God in the heavens and he'll jack us up, man. Some brothers had that conscience in their head. But it says, do by nature the things contained in the law. These having not the law are a law unto themselves, man. And no, they wasn't following it all to a T. Hey, neither was the southern kingdom, no. But this proves they had the law within their hearts, man. It says, which shew the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another. He gave us an example. But go ahead, Mark.
I'm kind of going to touch on or recap some of the information that Hezekiah touched on. And man, we really don't go over the Northern Kingdom as much as we need to. I know that's biblical though. Captain DeBar, can you get that precept in Zechariah? It tell you he was going to bring forth the tents of Judah first. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, kind of. 1 second.
I'm going to grab that precept real quick. And then kind of touch on some of this information that I got about the Northern Kingdom. Man, I'm going to be honest, the Northern Kingdom hard. Y'all hard.
Bruh. For real though.
Y'all hard. Hey, one thing I really will say that I really like about the Northern Kingdom is that they got more like brotherly love. Like it just comes natural for them. Like they stick together more. Like our people stick together. The Negroes or the Judites, the Southern Kingdom, we stick together. But whenever I look at the Northern Kingdom and I see how y'all stick together, y'all be holding it down. You know, they pretty lit. Y'all know how to get some stuff done, man. I know they real big on like a family.
Right. They real big on exalting their brothers. And this is not me stereotyping or anything. My brothers from the Northern Kingdom, but you see 12 brothers in one little car, man. They got to get there. You see 15 brothers in a house, and they all pitching in $15 a month and helping that one brother pay off that house, and then the next brother. You know what I'm saying? They do these things. I've witnessed this, man. They come together for the betterment of their people. And it's sad to say, man, the Southern Kingdom really ain't like that, man. And if they are, it's not on a huge scale. But we can observe the Northern Kingdom being real brotherly to each other, man.
Hey, there's a reason for that though, man. Cut off the head of the snake and the rest of the body will fall, man. But that's just something that just didn't fall from them brothers. You know, a lot of other things did, but just not that area. But I got that for you if you want it.
Yeah, pull it out real quick.
You want
I think so.
All right, Con. So this is Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 7. the Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
God. So a big reason why you don't hear the northern kingdom, you don't hear like breakdowns on them as much as you should, but that's like, it's not off because it goes with biblical prophecy. And he said he was going to wake up and establish the tents of Judah first, the southern kingdom, because of King David, because of what he did, But that's a big reason why you hear the curses broke down mainly in a way that targets the southern kingdom, but it goes for the northern kingdom too. That's why in the truth you see a lot more southern kingdom than northern kingdom. You see a lot way more Negroes than Latinos and Native Americans, or at least from the little bit of time that I've been in the truth, I see way more Negroes in it. But that goes with biblical prophecy, as he said he was going to wake up the southern kingdom first. But to touch on some of the things that I wanted to touch on real quick, I did a little bit of digging a while back over just the northern kingdom in general. I didn't go too deep on anything in particular, but what I found out, the things that the northern kingdom was doing and didn't do, it just sounded like something the Israelite would do. And Captain DeBar put out a perfect precept in Romans chapter 2. But I'm gonna read what I got. Some parallels between the Jews and the Indians of America. Check this out. The first one I got is the division into tribes. The divisions into tribes. Being the Israelite, Jacob had 12 sons, and each one of those sons was a tribe. And even within that, you got families. We get down through there with the tribes. And that's one thing you see with, especially the Reuben and Gad. They really big on tribes. They real big on that. You got all kind of different tribes. I think some of the brothers went over Creek, Cherokee, Seminole. You had a lot of major tribes, but you had a lot of like minor tribes too, small tribes. But I'm gonna keep going. So that's one correlation. Go ahead.
You got a lot of tribes that they don't even exist no more, man.
They destroyed them. They destroyed them. Destroyed them. But I'm gonna keep reading. It says, one of the things I got, I'm just going through parallels, similarities between Israelites and Native Americans. So the first one I said was dividing yourself into tribes. That's an Israelite thing, Not, it goes for everybody, but that's a parallel. It says appointment of holy priests. Now, the Israelites had holy priests. They had Levites. The Native Americans, they had holy priests. They had medicine men. It's another term for them, Nazar. Is it like shaman or shamans?
Shaman.
Shaman. I think that's exactly what it is. But yeah, that's another parallel. And these different medicine men, they was going into both sides of it, physically, restoration of your body and spiritual, and that's the same thing when it comes to the priest, the Levitical priest, it says counting of months through the lunar year. So they was good at telling times with these calendars. That's one thing that's big with the Native Americans, not only just them, but the Hispanics. Nazar on it tonight, man. Hey, Nazar, I'm definitely finna get on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I got something too.
All right, I'm gonna keep going with what I got real quick though. It says festivals, some which corresponded with the Israelites' calendar. So some of the Native Americans' festivals that they was keeping, it corresponded to the calendar and the feast days that we have biblically. That's fire. Look, to get to what Nazar, what he dropped, it says, he said, we have medicine men who make medicine for us to wash in used before and after funerals. Now, I'm going to kind of jump down to what I got real quick. Another parallel is burial and mourning for the dead. So one thing that the Native Americans would do, how they would bury and mourn for their dead was similar to how the Jews did it. You know, we would mourn for a certain amount of time. You know, we would bury them this way. We would place them next to our. Hey, one of the things that the Native Americans did was the same thing. And not only that, the Native Americans knew that when you touch the dead body, it has significance, and they would consider themselves unclean. Now that's a big similarity. That's a big similarity. Man, I got a lot of parallels, but I'm kind of want to just see what he got. Off tops, Gad, hey, the Reubenites, they was cool. They was mighty on war. He got the precept right here. Can I add it? Let's see. First Chronicles 5:18. It says the sons of Reuben and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, of valiant men able to bear buckler and sword, shoot with the bow, and skillful in war. God, man, our Northern Kingdom brothers, man, they was mighty. That's mighty. You always hear about Native Americans when it comes to hunting, when it comes to war, how they would get down. Them brothers was cold when it came to camouflage, when it came to actually building these different weapons. They was mighty at that. Hey, and real quick, another thing that was really cold about our Northern Kingdom brothers, they knew the land. You know, they was real strategic when it came to guerrilla warfare. Go ahead, King.
Right, and not only that, when we dealing with these wars, a lot of the tribes, they surrender and they submitted, but a lot of them fought back. Like you have the last day of the Sioux Nation, right? It's called the Wounded Knee War. You got like crazy horse, sitting bulls. Hey, these are our forefathers. They was not no punks. They fought back. You got also the Mongol Empire, Moctezuma. He wanted to fight back too. So at the end of the day, we was kicking we was giving it to them, man. But they came in with that Gatling gun, that automatic machine gun, and this is where all of our people started to surrender. So I want to give an insight on some of the things that they had on, if I can. 1 second. Matter of fact, go ahead.
All right, Con. I'm just gonna grab a few more parallels because I could keep going. I got a pretty
that's cool.
I'm gonna go into the main ones that stick out to me. Fast and land fast. The Native Americans, they already knew how they was big on agriculture when it came to how you're supposed to treat the land. Hey, even them buffaloes that they was killing, it was a way that they went about it. They didn't just go in reckless. They was wise as a serpent. They knew how to treat things, you know. But they would actually give the land time to recuperate. They would give the land a fast, you know, and that's biblical because we're supposed to do that, you know, every 7th year. They had laws of cleanliness and uncleanliness, like during like a woman, she's supposed to be separated when she's unclean, when she's on her menstrual cycle. The Native Americans, they was already doing that, you know. That's documented. I touched on like how you would purify yourself after touching a dead body. The Native Americans already knew about that. This is crazy. Cities of refuge. A city of refuge is, say me and Captain DeBar, we out there cutting down some trees, and I got an axe, and the head of the axe pop off and kill Captain DeBar, and it chop his head off. But I never had any ill intent or any hate in my heart for that brother. What I would do, because obviously his family is going to want me dead. Captain DeBar, if I kill Captain DeBar, whether it was an accident or not, they're going to want me to die. So what I could do is go into a city of refuge and I would be protected, you know? So the Native Americans actually had cities of refuge just in case situations like that happened. This is mighty. I'm gonna grab this one. I'm gonna let you spit, Captain.
Go ahead.
All right, Con. So according to Deuteronomy, like what is it, 24 or 22, I'm gonna just read what I got. It says, keeping the name alive of a dead brother by remarriage of his wife. So according to the Bible, it was something that we always did. If someone dies, if I die before having children with my wife, but I got a wife and I don't have any children with her, my brother is actually commanded to sleep with my wife and bear children up in my name. I'm gonna say that again. Me, Officer Mahar, I die. I have a wife, but we don't have any children. If I die without having any children to carry on my name, the closest kin to me, which would be my brother, we have the same father and mother. That brother would sleep with my wife. He would look after my wife for me, and he would raise up a kid, not in his name, but in his dead brother's name. And that was something that the Native Americans actually practice. That's a lot of, that's really mighty. That's really mighty. That's how you look out for your people, man. So I know if I was to die right now, I actually will want somebody to make sure my family, my wife, I just want somebody to look after them, how I would. And, who else can you depend on, like your brother to do something as honorable as that, It's on you though, Captain. Oh, he's not in here, so I give. Con. What's going on in the chat real quick? Look like a little bit of folly. Nazar on fire. A brother said Gaddis, African native research. I don't know about that one, King.
About sources, right? About the information that we are bringing out, I can give you a couple of sources. Salakia, let me bring Cat back up. I got you, King. Salakia.
Yeah,
All right, so some of the sources, we've been pulling out sources the whole night. So one of the sources you can find a book is called The Hope of Israel, and it was written in 1650. All right, The Hope of Israel, and it was written in 1650. All right, that's one of them. Let me get another one for you really quick. The boy, bring out some of your sources while I grab this out.
All right, Khan. So you talking about the proving that the natives are Israel?
Yeah, kind.
So you got I said the book. You got the Kedors and Puglos, right? I can show the screen. Matter of fact, let me just show you.
Kind, King.
You have this book right here called Conquistadors and Puglos, right?
Hold on 1 second.
You can even use this.
Hold on, you sharing your screen?
You said what?
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah. Hold on. Salakia.
All right, there you go, King.
All right, Khan. So first and foremost, you got Babylon and Tues. This is a starter kit when you've been in Israel, right? You have this book right here. It's called the Conquistadors and Puglos. This is a source, right? You have Last Days of the Suit Tribe. Hey, and if you ain't never read books, but you shouldn't be saying anything, like for real. But it's, you got also the devastation of the Indies, right? Hey, look what's on the front cover, man. It ain't nothing good in it at all. This is how we know they Israel, man. They went through the curses just like we did. Now, are the natives scattered across the four corners of the earth? We all are. But the majority of them is not in South Africa, man. The Northern Kingdom have left that side of the land pursuing 1340.
Problem.
So that is false information.
Can you hear me, King?
Kind.
I'm really curious what kind of sources this man have. Is there anything in the Bible that he can prove that the Northern Kingdom of South Africans, just you even like saying that, it blows my mind. I'm not sure where you got that from.
Yeah, that's off. Salakia, Officer Mahar, that's off is held because we're not saying only the Native Americans in America and the Latinos in America are the only Northern Kingdom brothers. We're not saying that because we know, according to the Bible, it says to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad to the four quarters of the earth. For you to try to pinpoint that only the Northern Kingdom is in South Africa, you are in error doing that. Okay, and we would like for you to provide the scripture. And I know who Thoughts Camera Action is. We disagree with the brother. We disagree with the brother. We don't believe that all Israel are just black people. We do not agree with that. So, hey, if you feel like, you want to go do a video, go do a video. All right. But we're gonna continue to bring this lesson out through the spirit of Yahweh Shalom Shek Yahweh.
All right, guys. So, hey, I want to bring this out because can somebody pull up with Nazar that precept he brought out about the healing? He said that they would practice medicines. I got something. This in Conquistadors of Pueblos book. This is an account, right? So we understand, like, dealing with the natives, man. It's a lot of stuff that you see that keeps society function. We learn from them, man. We learned it from them, and then that goes back into the Bible, man. How the Lord told us to operate, man. That's why the brother was bringing out those similarities. Is that all? Are the similarities that was?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. So we have medicine men who make medicine for us to wash and use before and after funerals, right? So this is Conquistadors and Pueblos, page 28. It says these Indians at once called on travelers, the travelers that was coming in and out, right? The conquistadors, the heathen. It says to practice their healing arts. They would teach them their healing arts, right? So all these healing arts that you see from natural herbs, man, guess where they got that from? But they not gonna get that from some people that's just anybody, man. Because we still use these same healing arts today, right? These are special people. It says Cabeza reported that all four of them served as physicians, but that he, being venturesome and bold, was the most remarkable. The poor wanderers needed real medical treatment themselves, unaccustomed to nakedness and exposure to the hot sun. They shed their skins twice a year like serpents and suffered from the pain of open sores on shoulders and breast, and most accurately, when they had to carry heavy loads. So the natives will go and heal them and help them heal, give them stuff to heal themselves, dealing with the temperatures that's over here in the Americas. But that's it. Y'all can hear me though, right?
Are you good?
I can hear you. Hey, I want to touch on this real quick. Nazar, he said, we also have the Bag Creek stones that were buried with our ancestors in Tennessee, which had Paleo-Hebrew. So it's actually stones buried with Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters that had Paleo-Hebrew. That's a flag right there. You got to consider these things like that. You can't do nothing with no evidence like that. You got brothers, Native American brothers, buried, and they have stones next to them and they graves with Paleo-Hebrew on it. That's crazy. Hey, even Issachar, man, the so-called Latinos, the Mexicans, the Guatemalans. Hey, one thing that was really big was that was crazy when I found this out. Everybody should have heard about the Lost Lunar Stones. They actually had paleo on them. Hey, even in the temples in Mexico, these different temples had Paleo-Hebrew. I think one of these temples even had the 10 Commandments written in Paleo-Hebrew inside these temples on the walls. That's crazy. That's crazy. You got it though, King. Captain.
Yes, sir.
You got something you want to bring up or no?
Let me see. So dealing with the reason why I'm bringing out in this lesson how the thing dealing with Christianity, because that is one of the key points, as in We know that they forced it on the Negroes, but they did not only force it on the Negroes, they forced it on the native and the Mexicans also, man. Right? So I was trying to find something right quick. I was trying to find something. Salakia.
Yeah, that's major though. That's major. To actually
Hold on, give me 1 second.
To actually think about it. A lot of times we think about stuff from our own perspective and what we want to happen, how we want things to happen, instead of dealing with the reality and how things usually happen or how things actually happen. We got to actually look at the reality of things, the facts. Shalom, shalom.
You said it.
Nazar said he wants you to get Sirach 34 and 25. But the reality is, a lot of these religions was actually forced on you. Literally. That's why I pulled that precept down in First Maccabees to show you that these religions, these certain laws was forced on our throats. And if we didn't do them, then we would be utterly destroyed. You know, our families, everything we worked hard for, you know, our houses, our homes, spoiled. All of these things will happen to us if we didn't obey their religion, you know, the orders that they were setting up. And that's a heavy punishment. That's a heavy burden. That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. And to see how our people actually dealt with those things, how they, hey, you know how people say, like, you get in a fight, you get hit in the face, and you ate it. You took it on the chin. You took it cheerfully. A lot of our people, all of these trials and tribulations, they took them, you know. They took them. You know, we don't really got nobody to blame sometimes. Sometimes we got to look at ourselves, but that's the reality. Yadadiah said, so like, yeah, even here in Oklahoma, blacks and Indians were tortured alike, hung from trees, burnt alive, dragged through the town by horses. In Oklahoma. That's actually history, man. That's the facts.
Con, let me pull up. You keep on. I'm pulling up some photos of this actually happened. I'm gonna show them the proof. But keep on,
Man. It's crazy to think that this wasn't that long ago either. But a lot of times when we start talking about history and what happened to our people, we think this is like millions of years ago. Man, this is a couple hundred years ago. This is a couple generations ago, man. This ain't long ago. This ain't long ago. Hey, our great grandparents, they'd tell you, like, man, I was a kid when this happened. You know, these things ain't too long ago, man. A lot of these things ain't too long ago. Our Northern Kingdom brother getting conquered, it ain't that long ago. Hey, a big I was reading this book. Man, I misplaced the book, unfortunately. Man, the book was fire though. I got it from Soldier Zion, and the book was talking about how these different places in America got their names, and it started with even the country itself. You know, the Italian Voyager, Amerigo Vespucci. It started talking about the different Europeans that came over here. It goes as far as to all of these different states, how they got their names, these different cities, these different streets. You know, you see all kind of different streets, Vancouver, Denver, Memorial, Sheridan. It talks about how all of these different things got their names, and it goes in a great detail about it. But one of the things that stood out to me was how it breaks down the bigger, just the whole North America, how it got its name. Then it goes into the states, the cities, the streets. It goes into all of it. But it was talking about the English, the Englishmen, you know, the British, and the French, and they all Europeans, and they all fighting for trying to basically get this land, you know. But a lot of it is really, really important because it got a lot of information about them conquering the Native Americans. It goes into great detail about it. But I misplaced the book, unfortunately, or I would show it to y'all and show y'all some of the stuff that's in there.
God.
Hey,
so look,
you got it.
And to add on that, like some of the names, this is how we know that they Israel, also because of the war that Esau proclaimed on the Northern Kingdom brothers. Like the word Idaho, it's a Apache term, and it goes into Idaho, which means enemy. Or like I was telling the brothers earlier, Oklahoma, Okla goes into red, Homa goes into nation, and it was symbolic for Indian territory. Or you got Iowa, which goes into a low-wage tribe. So they would name the common patterns of many origin names goes from native tribes, local rivers, and colonial territory. And you have names like, let me see, like they would name the name after them, or they would name them after the natives, man. Like in Oklahoma, we got something called, a town called Catoosa, and it's the Catoosa Indians, right? Everything is, they slogan, everything goes back to the native Indians for some reason, but it ain't nothing but Edomites out there, right? This is a sign of conquering, right?
That's heavy.
So, God, and then you got places like Indiana, which is the land of the Indians. Seminole Indians goes into the wild ones or the runaways. Hey, different names, man. You go into these words, man, it'll really shock you. It'll really surprise you. Or even like the word Mexican. Metzli, and it goes into the moon. We'll go to like,
hey, that's major too. He said it goes into the moon. A lot of thing about our Mexican family, our Issachar family, brothers and sisters, we keep saying this. I'm gonna have to pull that precept out in Chronicles. I don't know it by heart, but it tell you that the Northern Kingdom, they was good at telling the times and the seasons by the sun, by the moon, and by the stars. So that term Mexican, like we don't really know why we call ourselves those things. They do got power in them, but it's not really what God call us. That's major though. Hey, the Czar said, I'm not sure exactly what he referred to, but the point is, as if you can look real good at some old pics of Native Americans, them brothers were real brown. I see a lot of pictures like that where you see so-called Mexicans or Native Americans, and we look the same.
Hey, let me share my screen. Look at this book. Look how dark these people was on the front. They look like Negroes, man. Salakia. Sure. Why is it ain't working?
Yadadiah said the Trail of Tears right here in Oklahoma. Brothers were close to streets and that's major. Hey, a lot of these places they'll say no Negroes, no Negroes allowed. No Negroes allowed. And a lot of times it would say no. A lot of times and no. So we really.
So like I'm on my screen. So look how dark these natives were, man. And you best believe Mexicans. And when I say natives, I'm including the Mexicans also. These was very dark people, man. Very dark people. It's just that when Esau got it over here, they started blending, and they became lighter and lighter. But they was very dark people, man.
It's like if I make that's kind of echoing.
That's mine. My
All right, Con. Hey, something I wanted to touch on. You kind of said it, but of course we was all conquered by Europeans, but you know how beautiful the Northern Kingdom sisters are, and this is not taken away from the Southern Kingdom sisters. Everybody beautiful, but you know that these Europeans, they was all over it. They was all over them Northern Kingdom sisters, man. And one of the things I was bringing out was the parallels between the Israelites and the Northern Kingdom and the Native Americans. But one of the things that these people was against, a lot of the Native Americans, they was against certain things when it came to dealing with these white folks. One of the things they was against was marriages with Native Americans, interracial marriages. A lot of Native Americans, they wasn't trying to deal with that. A lot of these Native Americans didn't even like the clothes. It was prohibited in some of these tribes that you could not wear what these white people was wearing. And you know, these Native Americans, these our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, they really big on the garments, the colors, the bright oranges, the reds, the royal blues. Like they was big on that, and they had these pretty garments. You know, the feathers, the hat, all of these things, man. But it was very shunned upon if a Native American was making a marriage with a European, and you starting to take on the traditions and customs of these white people. You starting to dress like them. They was against that. Hey, the Native Americans was also trying to prohibit, because the white folks, they was trying to, you know, get everybody drunk, you know, physically and spiritually. But the Native Americans, for a long time, they didn't get down with that. They was trying to stay away from that, you know, that cup. But you know how Europeans is, they real sly, real crafty. They got to a point where our Native American brothers and sisters, hey, even Mexicans, they big on alcohol, like major on it. And it's a reason why they are like that. Literally, you will find out that on these certain reservations, when it comes to the liquor and the drinking, man, the numbers is through the roof. The numbers is through the roof, man. And that's not an accident. All of these things were set up strategically. You got something, King? Either one of y'all?
God, it tells you in Isaiah about how Ephraim will be a drunkard, man.
Definitely.
It tells you that. You said what?
Like chapter 24.
Yeah, I believe it is, or it's chapter 28.
Yeah, it might be the early verses. I know it's the first verses, 24, 28. One of those.
Yeah, man. So they, you know, according to prophecy, man, we can see who they are also, not just history, man. It's about what they do, man. Especially when Paul broke down that Romans 2 like that. Like, that makes perfect sense to me, man. That would be an opening scripture and a closing inscription for a lesson like this.
Yeah.
Just so you can meditate on that, man.
Definitely.
But I do got something, though.
All right, go.
So, this is the Conquistadors and Pueblos. This is page 15. It says, the unfortunate Indians. Hey, and this right here, it blew my mind when I actually seen this, man. It says, the unfortunate Indians became the victims of the Spanish conquest, enslaved and forced to dig for gold. Hundreds of thousands were worked to death, killed, or shipped as slaves to Spain. So when we go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and I'm going to forever bring this out. When we go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, they say that that's only for Negroes. But it tells you right here that when the Negroes was brought over here on cargo slave ships, they would take Northern Kingdom brothers and take them to Spain. So what does that mean? They want cargo slave ships also. So I'm gonna read it again. It says, the unfortunate Indians became the victims of Spanish conquest, enslaved and forced to dig for gold. Thousands were worked to death. Right. So they was forced to dig for gold, diamonds, you know, certain things like that. The Negroes, we was forced to dig for cotton, tobacco, sugar, salt. That's what we was forced to dig for. They was on a whole nother mission, even though they was getting transferred in and out, you know, because it tells us right here, it says, or shipped to Spain. It says, when they were almost exterminated, their Spanish masters began to import Negro slaves from Africa to work on the plantations and the gold mines. So this book right here letting you know on page 15 that we was doing the same thing. We was going through the same thing. In the days of trafficking, they will go from Spain to North America, South America. They will go to Africa, Spain, North America. And I'm just giving you a pinpoint in the days of trafficking, how I was working, how easy it was. because it would make no sense to have an empty ship, whichever location they went to. So they would make sure they had a full ship every time, man. Moving these natives around, moving these Negroes around. That's why we're all across the four corners of the earth, man. But I do got this one more thing. So this is Babylon to Timbuktu, right? I know we're familiar with this book, and this is page 128. It says, whenever the Jews were in Spain, so we just read that, you know, some of those Jews that was in Spain is the Northern Kingdom. It says Portugal or the colonial possessions, they disguised themselves as Christians in outward form, but practiced Judaism in secret. Many of the new Christians knew Christian rights better than the old white Christians. So we see this book and the devastation of the Indians is calling them Christians, but it's a whole different Christian, man. That's why they got the E and a T on the end of it. That's how we know it's different. Get rid of, it's nothing wrong with being a Christian. It's the E and a T that goes on the end of it. That's the problem, because it has no solid background. It has no solid foundation, man. And our people come from Roman Catholicism or Christianity, man. Or, you know, they think that they more conscious going into the conscious community, as in being Moors or damn Islam and all those different religions, man. But I want to continue. I'm gonna drop down a little bit. It says in the year 1547, the papal office authorized the establishment of the system of the Inquisition in Portugal. So that's what Christianity was called before it was Christianity. The system of Inquisition, the system of investigation. It says the word Inquisition means inquiry or investigation. The Inquisition, the investigation, consists of a tribunal of religious judges, right? Its purpose was to investigate and purge out heretical Christians. It says persons who question certain Christian principles. So you are not allowed to question certain principles. So imagine raising up generation after generation under this same mindset, and they're going to get used to it. They're going to apply themselves to it. They're going to defend it eventually. And that's what you see up to this point. Our people defending this Christianity doctrine. Or you see the Northern Kingdom, they kissing their rosary beads, you know, or when they in a jam, they kissing their rosary beads, talking about, get me out of this, Lord. I promise I'll never do it again. Right? That's Christianity. But it says also, it says, although some white Portuguese Christians suffered at the hands of the Inquisition, this system was mainly directed against the new Christian, the secret black Jews. And I'm going to drop down a little bit. It says, Garcia de Orta, a Jew of Portugal, was discovered to have been a secret Jew. His body was dug up out of his grave. So after this man died, they tried to make a mockery. They tried to do this man bad. It says his body was dug up out of his grave and burned by the Inquisition. You see what they call him? It says by the Inquisition, the investigators, the investigation. That's why when we look at our churches today, the black churches, you have that 501c3. Those are the investigators. That's the Inquisition that it's talking about. This stuff hasn't went anywhere. It says in another case, a Jewish woman by the name of Elvira Dampo was indicted for 2 years in order to elicit a confession from her. The charges against her were not eating pork. It didn't say she wanted to. It said she would not eat it. They brought up charges on this woman for not eating pork. But look at our people. Our people love pork. Why? Because it was beaten to us, man. It's called Stockholm syndrome, right? It says, in putting on clean linen on on Saturdays, according to this woman, these charges were not heretical practices. She wanted to be clean, and pork made her sick. So she had this is the excuse she made, man. When we go from this book, it tells us that, you know, the natives were shipped to Spain, and then we see what was going on in Spain, man. Hey, man, they under the curses too, man. Four corners of the earth, man. Well, go ahead, Al. You got something?
No, I ain't really got nothing.
All right, Con. So let's go to Hosea then. Let's go to Hosea 1. Let's deal with that.
All right, Con.
Hosea 1 and 6. Hey, Hezekiah, can you get Jeremiah 50 and 33? And remind us to bring that out.
You want 1 and 6? Kind. This is Hosea chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, "And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And God said unto him, Call her name Lo-ruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away."
Right. So the Lo-ruhamah, it tells you what the name is right here. He says, "For I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel." That's what that means. Keep going.
Verse 7.
He wants you to name 2 kids after the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. You know, just so you have an understanding. Go ahead.
Verse 7 says, "But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Lord their God, and will not save them by the bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen."
All right. So the Most High is not going to cause us to overcome our enemies just being us. He says that's not how I'm going to save them. Right. But go ahead.
Now in verse 8 it says, "Now when she had weaned Lo-ruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Then said God, Call his name Lo-ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God."
So this is the other son. This is the other name. Lo-ami goes into what is it? It says, "For ye are not my people, and I will not be your God." So these are symbolic names for these 2 sons that the Most High told Hosea to name. Right, just for shorts. But go ahead.
Verse 10 says, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God."
So right there, you got to ask yourself, for the Negro only brothers, you got to ask yourself, if they are not Israel, you know you Israel, you know you in a millennial captivity, you know we in the last days, so etc, so forth. So where is the northern kingdom? Because the Most High said, in the same place that he said, "You are not my people, there shall you be declared that you are the sons of the living God." Both tribes, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, going into Ezekiel 37 also. Right, but read the last verse right quick, verse 11.
Verse 11 says, "Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel."
Hey, so the Most High tells you in the last days, because we know this ain't happened. In Hosea, after they went to the Assyrian captivity, hey, they came over to the Americas, and it so happened over here, the Negroes get brought over here. Hey, that's lining up, and you will not find no artifacts that go against that. You will not find no history that go against this. This is how we know that the northern kingdom is Israel, and the southern kingdom also, man, dealing with these prophecies. But let's get that Jeremiah 50 and 33 right quick.
Okay. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33, and it reads, "Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go."
They refused to let them go. In the land of our captivity, they refused to go. This is the same place, the America, man, the land of the north, man. But I want to get this right quick. Give me 1 second. I want to get this. Hezekiah,
Kind
you got something?
well, I just wanted to bring out these photos that I said I was going to bring. I got a couple photos.
All right, that's cool. I just get this after that
All right.
because I'm still looking.
So let me see if I can kind of zoom in on this really quick. 1 second. All right, so hold on, let me see if I can turn my camera on. So I don't know if y'all can see this here, right? All right, this is it says lynching of 38 Dakota Sioux men, December 26, 1862. It says the crime on December 26, 1862, in the midst of the United States Civil War, April 1861 through May 1865, and in the same week that the Emancipation Proclamation was issued, President Abraham Lincoln ordered 35 Dakota Sioux men sent to the gallows in Mankato, Minnesota. They were hanged. They were hooded and hanged simultaneously from a single scaffold, surrounded by 1,500 Union troops and a howling lynch mob of 4,000 white settlers. It was the largest mass execution in United States history. All right. I hope y'all can see that. And if you can't, you can go to my Facebook page and you can see the image there and read on it. All right, here you go, right here. Let's see. Let me pull this down. Salakia.
That's dealing with the wounded knee war, man.
Kind. All right, so it says on this picture here, it says we serve whites only, no Spanish or Mexicans. Mexicans keep going. We can take care of our own. And as you see, you have a Hispanic here, right? Let me scroll up. You have some Hispanic or natives here. It's like a Judite brother look like right here, right? Some Northern Kingdom brothers there. And here you go, some Northern Kingdom sisters and a Northern Kingdom brother right there. All right. So, hey man, the proof is out there, man. These people they've been done just like we've been done this whole time, man. They fall under the curses, they fall under the prophecies, and so forth.
Gone. So gone. So dealing with that, bring out that Jeremiah 50 and 33 again.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. And it reads, Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah oppressed together, and all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Right. So that brings me to this book, Babylon of Timbuktu, page 126. And it says the Jews were leaving the country in such large numbers that in 1499 and 1531, the kings published, the kings, plural, all the kings had was in agreement to this, published a decree forbidding the new Christians, black Jews, from leaving Portugal without special permits. And we all know what that special permits goes into, man. I always bring this out. It goes into passports today, which proves that we are still slaves. They still refuse us to let us. They still refuse to let us go. Because you got to think about this one thing about permits. When you leave the country, you can leave the country. That'd be fine. But when that passport expires, they take you to where? A U.S. embassy. That U.S. embassy gonna bring you right back over here. You are still a slave, man. This is why it says we were held together. They refused to let us go, man. Those permits, the Constitution, it was all made for us. It wasn't made for no one else, man. And that's why we get done the worst under it. This system, right? So and that goes into Revelation, that the image, all that, bro, that goes into a lot more things than what dealing with this. Let's deal with this though. Go ahead, Al.
So like, yeah, what you finna grab?
Nah, that's all good.
All right, because I heard you say you deal with this. I was about to say, hold on. Hey, one of the craziest things is that that I find intriguing, which is kind of easy to understand. That's why I like bringing it out, like on the highways and byways. And we always do this. Can you get Isaiah 1 and 3 real quick? One of y'all, Baba Kashai. One of the trademark animals for Mexicans is a donkey, an ass, you know, like an ox. It's not a really smart animal, you know, it's a work animal. And that's one of the things that Mexicans take pride in, is being able to work. But with that being said, can you read that Isaiah real quick?
God, this is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. Isaiah 1 and 3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
And so the point is, the ox and the ass, they know who they belong to. These dumb animals, they know where home is. They know where they're supposed to sleep. They know who feeds them. They know who their owner is. They not the smartest animals in the world. They use for working, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? That's easy to understand. It's just the ass. It's just the animal that works for you. He said, look, but the ass and the ox, they know who they belong to at the end of the day. But my people, the nation of Israel, they don't. They don't know who they belong to. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. You know, they don't even consider. And you see that a lot. You see that a lot with our people, but you see it a lot with the Northern Kingdom too. They don't really consider who they really are. You know, what God really think they are. These are the most spiritual people on earth, but they don't really know who they are according to the Most High God. You know.
Hey, and it's up to us to show them, man. It's up to us to go in these books. The Most High put it on our spirit to, hey, even if you sitting here listening to these books, your objective now is to go get the book and go show it to somebody else. That is your objective. Or not, it tells you in Ezekiel 3, you have blood on your hands. Hey, the choice is yours.
All right, man. The Northern Kingdom hot though, man. Not fire, man.
God, a lot of these books, man, you know, we got to study to show ourselves approved. A lot of these books, you can go to Google and look for the PDF, and you can read these books without buying them. All right, we just got to stop being lazy, man. Really, just go look into these books, and you'll see the information that's being brought forth. Okay, I don't care about going to somebody else's channel and listen to their thought on what it is. We're bringing out history, facts, and prophecies, and the curses of how these people line up with the children of Israel. That's what we're doing. All right, it's none of our information that we're bringing forth. Some of these books, we bought a book that came all the way from 1776, 1775, right? 1605. This is not our information. We just bring being a messenger. That's it. We're just bringing it up and making sure our brothers and sisters know that we know who they are. All right. At the end of the day, no matter who else don't believe they're the children of Israel, we're going to bring forth the evidence to show that y'all are our brothers and our sisters, man. You know, that's the love, man. If we not going to do it, who going to do it? All right. And I prefer if everybody, it's a brother, his name, well, he's not a brother. He's a scholar and he's a traveler, and his name is James Adair, and a book writer. His name is James Adair. Okay, he literally walked with the Native American Indians, and he took record on how they were are behaving and things of that nature. Go look it up. His name is James Adair. He's an author. Okay, and I want y'all to go look into it. Don't take our word for it. Go do the research for yourself and see what we're bringing out actually line up what you find, and does it line up with the Bible? That's all we ask. And while y'all doing that, and y'all hit the like button, hit the like button, y'all. All right, let's get this information out for our brothers, man. Let's show love to our Northern Kingdom brothers, man. All right, and hit the like button. They need to see this video. All right. We got to get the hell up out of here.
Hey, I want to touch on one more thing, and then we can kind of close out, unless y'all got something y'all want to add to it. That sound cool.
Yeah, but I definitely want to do a part two, going
Yeah.
in depth, going in depth with the Latinos, because we got a lot of info. I got a lot of information on them. I'm talking about their languages, right? And the bar kind of went into some things, but I'm not going to actually give it away. You know, he kind of spoke on it briefly, but we're going to go into the Latinos. And when I say Latinos, I mean the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, and the South Americans, the Venezuelans, Panama. We're gonna go into it, and we're gonna show you how these people line up with the children of Israel. All right, go ahead, Cap. Go ahead, officer.
Well, when you say it like that, we might as well hold on. I'm gonna hold on for this one for the next lesson then.
So, also, the bar man, he kind of put it on our spirit, man. This brother been looking into these books a lot, man. He's every time we get together, he's mentioned it to us. He's always pulling the history out of the book. It's powerful what this brother is doing, and he hasn't even scratched the surface on information that he's been bringing towards to me recently. So, you know, if y'all, you know, if a brother's kind of straddling the fence and he's kind of not sure, y'all hit this brother up on Facebook, man. He'll be more than welcome to give you some of this information before we actually come out with the part two. All right.
For real. Yeah, we're gonna have to get Nazar in this thing too, man. Our Northern Kingdom brother, man. Hey, we gotta thank the Most High God for giving us for giving us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, though, for real, because it's really life changing, eye opening. A faithful saying is, you don't know the fact. You don't know that's real. You got something?
Man, I want to say this, man. Look, bro. If that's what y'all believe, brother, hey, man, that's what y'all teach.
Yeah,
Don't come over here and try to over here, man. I already told you. I've watched these brothers before. I disagree with what they believe in. All right, y'all can say that. That's cool, you know. But we're just going to bring forth the information that we have researched on, and we're going to bring it forth. All right. Go
Hey,
ahead, King.
so one thing about that too, we never said not Gadites in those places. We just said that they're all across the four corners of the earth. So I don't get why you even said that.
Yeah, it's just, man. They just, you know, hey, it is what it is, man. You know, hey, you know, peace and blessings to those brothers, man. May they continue on their journey and keep researching. Over here, sons of Jacob, we ain't doing nothing but giving out love and respect for our brothers, for the 12 tribes of Israel, and that's what we're gonna do. We're not here for no contention and none of that. Y'all can go to all those other channels that y'all see that on, but we're not doing that over here. We're about information and waking our people up and shedding information to edify the nation. That's all we. You're not gonna get that type of energy from us, brother. All right, so just take it on elsewhere. All right. Shalom.
Con. All right. Captain the Bar, can you give me 1 Corinthians 15 and 58, Baba Kasha? Hey, like General was going into, man, we want to try and push more information, make it normalize talking about the Northern Kingdom just as much as the Southern Kingdom. Lord willing, we can start pushing out more information. I know Captain DeBar got a lot more information. General Hezekiah got a lot more information. I know I got to do a lot more studying, just off the things that I was taught and the things I did do research on. Hey, man, that proof is in the pudding, man. You know, it don't take a rocket scientist to kind of just narrow down and be like, all right, these brothers and sisters is Israelites. But now it's kind of on our spirit to kind of start putting that information out, you know, more frequently. So Lord willing, we can do like, you know, a little series over the Northern Kingdom, you know. Lord willing, man. Lord willing. But can you grab that precept, King?
God, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and 58. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and 58, it says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
So everybody that's in the truth, Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, brothers, sisters, hey, everybody make sure you being steadfast. You always staying 10 toes down, standing on your square and what you was taught, being assured of who you was taught by. You can't be tossed to and fro with everything that everybody say. Like you gotta start doing away with certain things, man. That's the harsh truth. But always trying to do the work of the Most High. No matter no matter how small or how much, make sure you're doing it, man. You know, it's a lot of work to be done. We're building up a whole nation. So it's a lot of gaps. If you see a gap, fill it. You know, it's not all about teaching. You know, it's about learning. It's about not just getting knowledge and getting information. It's about actually using it in your everyday walk, your everyday life. That's why the truth is undefeated. It really changes people, you know. It really changes people. So, Captain DeBar, you sure you ain't got nothing else you want to bring out? Or General has
No, I don't have nothing else, but
Anybody want
General,
to answer
yeah, that's
this
what I was
question?
wondering.
Kind.
Go ahead.
Before we close out, if anybody got any questions, we're gonna do a quick 2-minute Q&A before we close out. We've been on here for going on 2 hours. All right. So the first question, it says, "Hey guys, how does one walk the straight and narrow when you are by yourself?" Anybody want to answer that, officer or captain?
Khan. Can you give me Matthew 7 and 14?
God. This is Matthew chapter 7 and 14. It says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leads unto life, and few there be that find it.
Come on.
It says,
Oh no.
verse 15.
I want. Can you start at 13, Baba Kashah?
Yeah, God. It says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth to life, and few there be that find it.
Fine. So I'm gonna reread the question. It says, "Hey guys, does one walk the straight and narrow when you are by yourself?" Now I'm trying to meet you where you at because it's not a lot of information I know about you or this question. So first and foremost, we know that the straight and narrow is just um, it's a dark saying. You know, it's just something that's coded. Walking on the straight and narrow isn't actually you walking a straight and narrow path. It's really a spiritual meaning behind that. Of course, everybody should know that. And it means doing what's right. And we know what's right is keeping these law, statutes, commandments, and believing in the good news and the gospel that was preached to us. That's how you walk on the straight and narrow, man. You know, exercising your faith and keeping the commandments. Now, if you by yourself and you don't have a husband, um, what is it, Clinton, Cromwell? Like, I don't know if you have a husband or a wife.
I think that's a brother.
Okay, well, like you can definitely do it, you know, without having a rib, but you definitely want to try and get into a congregation or like-minded brothers. You know, if you can't do that, then of course you got, you know, different videos and stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's nothing like having that hands-on experience, being around brothers and sisters. Learning the Bible hands-on, face-to-face is way different, man. But the most I can say is to keep walking on the straight and narrow is really just to have your, if you don't have brothers to hold you accountable, you literally just gotta hold yourself accountable and really just be like have your head down, you know, with your nose in the book, man. Because it was a point in time where I didn't have a lot of brothers too, where I kind of came into the truth and I was kind of doing it by myself. I just cut off everybody in my life, old friends, family. Sometimes you kind of just gotta buckle down, man. That's based off experience too, man. Buckle down.
Kind. Also, what's the brother's name? Clinton. We did a video maybe like 7 videos back. It was called Brotherhood. I would very, very, very advise you to go watch that video, man. It's a beautiful lesson that we did, and it kind of goes into this, man. The Bible tells us, "Woe to him that is alone." You know, and two are better than one, man. And like the brother said, this is why the Most High gave us a congregation, man, so we can build each other up. It says, I believe that's in Ecclesiastes. It says, when he fall, he has a brother to lift him back up. So let's say you start to go off in an area, and you by yourself, you have nobody really there to correct you and help put you back on that straight and narrow. You see what I'm saying? So when you have a brother there, and he can see, hold on, brother, something not right. What's going on with you? Look, brother, according to the scriptures, this is how we're supposed to be operating. You going off by doing that. So he can lift you up. He can pick you back up and help guide you back through the spirit of Yahweh Bashar Mashak Yahweh Shah, brother. So the lesson was called Brotherhood. It was maybe like 7 lessons ago. It's recent. It's called Brotherhood.
It should
Any
be
other?
it
Go
should
ahead,
be
King.
7 days ago because we did it last Sabbath.
Kind. Any other questions in the chat? No folly questions, man. We want sincere questions. You know, and if we don't know, we gonna tell you we don't know. You know, you got to be humble out here, man. Hey, why y'all in here, man? Everybody that ain't hit the like button, man. Support us, man. Support the nation. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be doing more videos, more lessons. You know, hey, we ain't been doing dialogues recently, but hey, in the future, you know, I know somebody wanted to do a dialogue recently, but we ain't set it up yet. But we're gonna continue to keep pushing out these videos. Also, if you haven't, go to subscribe to our other channel. It's called SOJ Men of Valor. SOJ Men of Valor. All right, and go subscribe to that channel also. All right, and we have another channel. All right, it's called SOJ Gatekeepers. Go subscribe to that channel, man. All right, supporters, man. We just trying to get this information out to our people, man. Trying to show love to the nation, you know. And Lord willing, man, somebody be edified from these videos that we are putting out. All right, hit the like button, y'all. All right, we got one more question. All right, let's see. Khan Ox says, following Yahushua and everything he did is in the faith of keeping commandments, doing the will of the Father, believing in Him. Khan, powerful point. Powerful soldier, Yedidiah in the building, dropping that wisdom, man. All praises to the Most High. All right, we got one more question. It says, this is Obadiah, Judah, Israel. It says, where in the tribe of selected, where is the tribe of Dan in Revelation? It's
But that kind of sounds like a trick question.
well, let's just answer it. The tribe of
Well,
Dan ain't in. Hold on, the tribe of Dan ain't in Revelation.
yeah.
So if you want to, I answered your question, brother. You should have been a little bit more direct with the question. All right, because you asked where's the tribe of. Hey, he says add or take away, right? I can't add nor take away. You asked specifically where was he at in Revelations? He ain't there in Revelations.
So he's talking about the gates, right?
God, he's referring to it. God,
But yeah.
y'all wanna bring it out or?
Well, it's not right there. I mean,
Yeah, okay, kind. I agree with you.
It's right there, but what you see in Revelation is Dan is not in there, but you see in Ezekiel that he is, and we know that he is among us. We know that he was not utterly cast off. Is that my voice?
Yeah, it's something. I don't know what that was.
What about now?
You good? Yeah.
All right, so we know it wasn't exterminated. Hold on.
We're having technical difficulties. Israel, forgive us.
Oh, well, my little laptop finna die. Let's see. Say something.
You can hear.
Yeah.
So we know Dan was utterly cast out. Dan was not utterly cast out. So when you don't see the tribe of Dan, but when you go to Ezekiel, you see the tribe of Dan. Dan is still among us. Dan is still among us. He's blended in with the nation of Israel. There's precepts on it, but that's how we get Dan being not in Revelation. I know he was going. Yeah, right. Ezekiel 48. Right, it tells you right here. Pull that up. It says, and at the east. You said what?
Slightly. Go ahead, King.
It says, and at the east side, 4,503 gates, and one gate of Joseph, one gate of Benjamin, and one gate of Dan. So it don't say it in Revelation, but it said in Ezekiel, man. So we know that Dan is still among us. We damn sure ain't about to say that the scripture is null and void. So we know that Dan is still gonna be in the kingdom. We know Dan is still here, man.
Kind, man. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. I guess we can close out. We ain't got any more questions. Man, beautiful lesson, man. And we hope somebody was edified, man. We've been on here for over 2 hours now. And we do this because we love it, man. And I want to say the water to everybody that tuned in, everybody that supports Sons of Jacob, that watched the videos, that hit the like button, that subscribed. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the 12 tribes of Israel. And with that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But in the Hebrew, his name is Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. And we want to say the word. We appreciate y'all. And never ever forget, death to America. Shalom, Barakatah, Mashpakah.
Shalom, Barakatah, Mashpakah.
Hey, Shabbat, man. Shalom.